So you're outgrowing your man, and he's showing no signs of growing with you. It is okay to leave a man behind when they are not growing with you. Someone that's meant for you will help you grow. Everyone is meant for something in this universe. If a man is holding you back, and there is a place that you could be, but you know that you're not going to get there while you're with him, it is okay to leave. Yes, you feel bad. It's horrible. But he's not meant for you. Someone else wants to come into your life and take you where you want to be, where you're supposed to be. Because eventually you're going to reach a point where the pain of staying the same is going to outweigh the pain of change. You will hit that point anyway. And when you do, if you stay with him, you will reach a level of unhappiness that you have never felt before. It's time for you to shine.
What does that mean when you outgrow your man? We're going to delve into this today, but I'm going to also broaden the horizon on this subject because you have to understand the bigger picture of female psychology and pathology. Gentlemen, when a woman says she's outgrown her man, it literally means that she has extracted all of the resources that man can provide, and there is nothing else for her to get from that man. That is dark for a lot of men, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is just a woman's way of saying, this man has nothing else to offer me. Nothing. And I can't see myself getting more or growing anymore. Because what does a plant need to grow? Resources. Nutrients. That's what nutrients is, literally resources. Sunlight. Nutrients from the ground. It needs something to grow. The woman is telling us all that she is just following her biology. A woman is a parasite in a relationship. You have to understand this. And I know it sounds horrible. I know it does. And I'm a married man with 2 daughters. I get it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing because even parasites have their own pathology. They have their own biology. They have to follow their own biological makeup. Women can't help themselves. This is what has made them survive. This is the only thing that they know. You gentlemen have to understand this. Understanding female nature is what helps you to endure relationships. You don't fight it. You got to know how to live with it. But if you don't know that it exists, that's when it hurts you. Now, here's the secret. All of this is basic knowledge. This is psychology at its deepest. All psychologists know this. But the blue pill messages are clouding your brain. Men who understand women knows females' nature. They know how to work with these women who just constantly want. The worst thing you can do, gentlemen, is just give a woman what she wants. I've done many videos on this before, clearly stating for you, never give a woman everything. Because it doesn't stop at everything you have. Because after she's sucked you dry, because when you keep giving and giving and giving with no limitations, it's like getting her addicted to having stuff. More and more and more and more. And what happens? What happens when she has totally exhausted you? She has outgrown you. None of these women that I'm going to demonstrate to you have ever said that I have more resources than my husband. None of them say that shit. All they're saying is, I've outgrown my husband. What the hell does that mean? He's the man that's providing. So how can you outgrow someone who's providing more to you? How can you outgrow someone who is stronger than you, faster than you, more logical than you? Because that's why you picked him in the first place, didn't you? Most women will only get with a man who can offer her something. When he's given her everything that he has and he's exhausted himself, she has to jump ship. And the excuse she gives is, I've outgrown my man. Hit that like button, gentlemen. I'm going to give you some cold, hard facts today. This is going to be a freaking pill that you're going to have a hard time swallowing. The ladies not going to like. Listen, women don't like women or men who tell men their secrets because these are the things that are now stopping a lot of men from getting married. Unfortunately, me and Fresh and Fit and Andrew Tate and all of these other manosphere guys are literally shutting down the marriage market because we're exposing female nature. That's why we're public enemy number 1 for governments. Because when marriage and childbirth, etc., shuts down, economy is shut down But until the laws change and women get their shit together, gentlemen, toe the line. You don't expose yourself to this shit. All right, let's listen to this lady here.
There's this new trend that I see people talking about. There was a woman that was on TikTok, and she said that she had been with her husband for, I think she said 26 years, and that she's outgrown him, and that she know that they're heading towards a divorce and things like that. And there were hundreds of comments underneath her post saying, yes, women, we're tired. You know, we go to therapy, we get better, and the men, they lag behind. They don't want to get better. And she talked about how they've known each other since the time they were teenagers and everything. So she knows his story and she knows what he's going through. And then the thing she kept repeating over and over, but he's a good person, but he's a good person, but he's not growing and he's not growing. So I want to ask a couple of questions, right? Just to make sure that we're getting a 360 view, right? So during the time that she was upgrading, right, what was he doing? Because I think that sometimes we don't look deeply to see, okay, what were the men doing? Like, when were you able to go to therapy? Like, when were you able to go to therapy? Who was supporting you when you went to therapy? Right? When you went to therapy, did you get support from your husband? Right? When you were, growing and doing all these things, right? Who was supporting you when you were doing that? Right? I want you to understand, like, when you have a backbone, like in our husband's cases, right? I don't know her husband. I don't know the husbands, but because there was so many comments, right? I want to ask some of the wives these questions, right? When you were going through the things that you were going through, who supported you? When you were going through your trauma and trying to heal from your trauma, who supported you? Who was with you? Who was putting up with your triggers, your attitude?
And these are the legitimate questions. She's onto something. Because a lot of men, me included, I supported my wife when we had the kids and she wanted to go to do her master's. I don't have a freaking master's. I didn't even complete my bachelor's. I think I was like 5 months away from finishing my bachelor's and I realized I'm wasting my time. But around 6 years ago, she wanted to do a master's and I supported her. I even paid for it. Made sure that the kids were well taken care of. Made sure that the nanny was in place. Everybody was in place. And all she had to do was focus on getting her master's. She graduated with honors. She upgraded her education. But that does not mean that she was now above me. She realized that. Because I had to remind her, listen, who paid for this shit? Anytime she starts to get a little bit ahead of her, because that's how women naturally conduct themselves when they think that they're better in any aspects of life. This is how women act, and they don't even know that they're doing it. But you just got to check them. Always check them and make them wake up and realize, yeah, that's not a behavior that I'm going to tolerate. And this woman is right, because 99% of the time, there is a man supporting her so she can do better. But I warn you all the time, gentlemen, you cannot make your woman outgrow you. If she outgrows you, she will lose respect for you. It's naturally who she is, because she always want to feel that she has a guy who's better than her.
I left my wife because she didn't grow and evolve. We got married and I built a business and I became incredibly successful and I evolved into this whole other person. I worked on myself. I became enlightened, and she just stayed who she was. She never did any of those things. She was kind and loving and a great mom and never did anything wrong. She didn't cheat on me, but it just wasn't enough. I wasn't fulfilled by that anymore, given who I had grown into. And I knew I couldn't condemn myself to a life with that person who didn't do anything wrong and was a great mom, but I just didn't want it. I made that up. You never hear men say that as the reason for divorce, but you hear it from women regularly. So I want to know why. Ladies, expound upon that reason for leaving your husband. And men, did you ever feel that way, but you just never pulled the trigger? Was that a thought that crossed your mind? I want to know. Hit me up in the comments.
No, men never do this. Men will go and they will hitch some shit. They will get some outside punani, but he will make sure that he takes care of that good wife. If she's a good wife, she's going to be taken care of. He will slap some punani as he goes up the ladder, but he's not going to leave his good wife. No, men rarely. Not saying it's not possible, because I've seen some idiots do that and usually regret it, because that so-called younger, prettier bitch that he do get involved with usually end up taking him to the cleaners. And that good old devoted wife, most of the time she rarely moves on. but she never goes. I've never seen many of them go back to that husband. It's not in men's nature to do that. So we're here. And a lot of men have woken up. Way too many channels like this, and the one I'm about to show you here, are telling men and showing men the true nature of women. So now I'm going to share a piece with you from Psych Depth, because this piece was really powerful. And it's from this video. How does the female brain work? How do women think and reason? Okay, listen to this piece.
Our brain categorizes men into 3 boxes: alpha, genes; beta, resources; and invisible, neither. You can move between categories, but each move is harder than the last. Start as beta, she'll never fully see you as alpha. Start as alpha and show beta traits, you'll never recover that alpha status. Start as invisible, you basically don't exist in her reality. These aren't conscious categories, they're biological filing systems. And here's the kicker, she needs both alpha and beta traits, but from different men, which is why she'll have a husband for resources and fantasize about the pool boy for genes. You know what's the most powerful revelation? Women aren't actually relationship builders, they're relationship extractors. All the talk about women being nurturers, keepers of the home, relationship experts, it's backwards. Women are relationship entropy. They consume relationship energy rather than create it. Men build the structure, maintain the structure, and women test how much they can extract before the structure collapses. When it does collapse, they move to the next structure and repeat the process.
Do you understand how powerful that is and how it relates to women who have gotten men either as they were building or they have built themselves and then suck them dry, extract everything from them. And when they have done that and have built themselves on the heels of that man, then she says, I have outgrown him. Is this all clicking together now, gentlemen? And for you ladies that are watching, you have to understand your own biology. You have to see this. Most women cannot see it. They don't understand themselves. They don't take the time to self-examine because they're always the victim.
There was this experiment on an island. They separated men and women to see how they'd survive. The men immediately organized, divided labor, built shelter, established systems. Within days, they had a functioning micro-society. The women? They consumed all their supplies immediately, fought constantly, created nothing. When they added men to the women's group, the women immediately stopped working and expected the men to provide everything. When they added women to the men's group, the women started creating drama and breaking down the systems the men had built. This isn't culture, this is nature. You know what happens when you trace back every major societal collapse in history? You find the same pattern. Women gain influence, standards drop, accountability disappears, resources get redistributed from producers to consumers, birth rates collapse, society weakens, external forces conquer. Rome, Greece, Babylon, same pattern every time. Because when you optimize for female psychology, feelings over facts, comfort over challenge, security over freedom, you create weakness. And weakness gets conquered by strength.
Weakness gets conquered by strength. All of you gentlemen that are watching me, man, should have a light bulb moment at this time because you can see it happening in front of you right now. We have created a society that is geared towards women, and our society has become weak. We're becoming weaker and weaker. Was it the American army that are having problems finding new recruits? Not because there aren't enough men, but they're so out of shape and they're so feminized. Most of them can't even get through basic training. Yet back in the day when men were men, boys were doing hundreds of pull-ups and push-ups at school every freaking day. Ha, ha, ha. Physical education was part of the process. It was part of what every single boy had to do. Nowadays, it's a choice. Oh, we're going to play dodgeball and we're going to play badminton. And most of the physical education programs are gone. There's computer classes, chess classes after school. And of course, that's all elective. Everything is all about a screen these days. Look at our societies, man, all over the world. It's freaking disgusting the way men are conducting themselves. We have freaking fashion shows with young boys strutting down the runway dressed like women. This is what happens when you put female feelings first. We develop a weak, crumbling society. Like the guy said, man, there's a reason why there's no matriarchal societies. They've all disappeared, conquered by stronger societies.
The modern dating market is just female psychology unleashed without restraint. No social shame, no consequences, no accountability. And what happened? Exactly what you'd predict if you understood female nature. 20% of men get 80% of female attention. Women would rather share a high-value man than commit to an average one. The average man becomes invisible while women complain, "Where have all the good men gone?" They're right there. You just can't see them because hypergamy has recalibrated your vision to only recognize the top tier. As you might have heard, women initiate 70% of divorces, but that statistic hides the real truth. Women end 100% of relationships. They just get men to do it half the time. How? By making life so miserable, withholding so much, creating so much drama that the man finally breaks and leaves. Then she gets to be the victim.
Let it sink in. Let it marinate. Let it marinate. First thing she do, she withhold the sex. She knows that men need sex. Once she withhold the sex, the frustration builds up in men. Men will start to lash out. Then, of course, he's the bad one. She just keeps pushing for more and more and more. Just keeps holding back attention, holding back everything that made her attractive to him in the first place. She holds it back. Eventually, the man says, enough. I'm out. I don't need to go through this shit. Women break up 100% of relationships. That is factual. Just because she didn't initiate that other 20-30%, that doesn't mean that she wasn't responsible for it. Men do not leave relationships because he date down. He choose down. He knows he's picking a woman below him because every one of those women will find a man who's better than her. That means that she's looking up. He has to be looking down. It's not rocket science, ladies.
He left me. No, you drove him out. There's a difference. You know what's fascinating about female memory? It's completely revisionist. Every relationship she's ever had gets rewritten after it ends. The ex who she loved becomes an abuser. The husband she couldn't live without becomes a narcissist. The boyfriend she begged not to leave becomes a stalker. This isn't conscious lying. Her brain literally rewrites history to protect her ego. She was never wrong, never made bad choices, never the problem. It was always the man's fault.
I was watching this other podcast. You got to watch this piece.
The point that the men are trying to get to, I think, is that women want like a more alpha dominant.
This would be one of the traits, yeah. This could be a popular trait. I think the way she's saying that though is that like not being able to manipulate someone would be one of those alpha traits. But another way you could say it would be to have boundaries.
As long as there's still this element of you saying that I have boundaries and I cannot be manipulated, you should still be able to learn from your partner or learn from other people.
Yeah.
And when men hear the word alpha, they think that they heard something, it made sense to them, they stick with it, no one can tell them anything otherwise. They're not open to learning from it. They're not open to another perspective or way of seeing things that might challenge that or change that narrative. And the thing that everybody's stuck on these days is everybody wants to be called the alphas.
High value.
And they all want to be high value. They all think that they are it, and they think that by repeating this rhetoric that everyone else in clips are saying, that they're all of a sudden becoming those men. But internally, they don't learn. They're stubborn. They think of things one-sided. There's no gray area to anything. They lack the softness to be able to be empathetic to other people.
You see, what she's talking about are all the men that she sees. And all the men that she sees are men. Understand what I'm trying to explain to you. Remember previously, women put men in 3 different boxes: alpha, beta, and invisible, right? Let's eliminate the invisible. The beta, she wouldn't have this problem with. So who's the only man that she's going to have to refer to that says that he is the man, he's the man? The only one she sees. The only ones she sees are the men who's not going to put up with her bullshit. So what she's trying to do now is saying, oh, you alpha men, you got to give us some advantages. No, alpha men don't do that shit. Strong men will not allow you to lead. You freaking fall in line or you get out. Go somewhere else. Find another man. You can't expect an alpha to freaking bow. I don't like the word alpha. I'm going to choose another word. Strong men. Strong men. Let's just stick with that. Strong men know that they are leaders. And they will not allow a woman to step in to try to lead him. He will take her advice. But if she's stupid and it doesn't freaking have any logic behind it, his job is to reject it. That's what makes him a freaking man, not a half man. This is the problem now, is that these women want alphas or strong men to compromise for them because they are weaker than him. So in order for him to soften himself, they are now trying to convince these men that that they should be softer so that they can have some say. What do you think will happen when these men soften themselves and she gets to start to run the show? Because once there's a little crack in the armor, like you heard on PsychDep, once that man loses his position as an alpha and drops into a beta mode, he will never, ever, ever regain that position. You might as well just pack it up. What is this? This is what happens when you let your woman run your relationship. That's all this is. If you let a woman lead in your relationship, she will lead it to its inevitable end, just like any society that women lead. That's why it's vital, gentlemen, to hold and toe the line, because these women are trying hard to gain a position that they know that will inevitably end bad for everybody.
People.
See, here's why I think it's more emphasized right now, because too many guys have been like that for too long. Meaning, like, everybody has decided that they're going to align themselves with their feminine. They're going to be in their quote unquote feminine energy, whatever the fuck that means. But they want to seem like they're more feminine identifying, and have been doing that really for the last really since the baby boomer generation, to get in touch with. We've been told this for so long: man down, and suddenly now everyone wants to man up all of a sudden, right? Well, for 4 generations, we've told guys to man down, get in touch with your emotions, express yourself more, get in touch with your female side, do some.
So what, they took it too far?
Well, I think one of the reasons that we're sort of like seeing this as sort of detrimental to, well, society in general, but like guys in general. You'll hear guys will be like these. I do this on my own podcast. I compare different videos to other videos. And those videos, I set them off to kind of compare and contrast, like the message from one to another message from another one, and they tend to be like conflicting messages. So you've got one woman saying, "I want a guy who's like masculine and can kick ass and take names." And then they want a guy who can like slit throats and change the diaper on the baby in the same day, right? So you've got this
much like the guy that wants the virgin that's also a porn star in the bedroom.
Exactly. So and then honestly, I think that's kind of ridiculous as it is. But the thing is that we've been telling guys to be feminine and to sort of identify with the feminine for so long. And everyone, we're now in the 4th generation since this, and so now it's a shock to the system when we say, "Hey, if that's what you want, then we want to take that to the nth degree. We want to be as much as possible."
Why can't you guys go from "I make fire"? Proceed. Why can't you go from that to "I make fire" and have? Okay,
and then
you
come
here,
baby,
fire?
Come in my arms.
Do you want to learn how to make fire? I teach you how to make fire. Instead of being or
I'll tell you. Okay, well,
they're doing
first of all, that's a binary extreme right there. Second of all, is that guys have been told that for so damn long right now that they played that card and they've used that card and it hasn't bought them anything. So not playing the nice guy card, playing the I respect women card, that doesn't pay the bills when it comes to intersexual dynamics at this point. And I know it's nice to have, especially at different phases in women's maturity. So from the time you were like, say, 18 to about 28 years old, you're wanting a guy that's much different than the guy that you're like going, you know what, I really want a nice guy. I really want someone who's dependable and is not like those assholes that I used to date back when I was 18, 19, 25, whatever it was. And now I'm interested in a guy who has something else to him. And that guy has to also not only be respectful, but he also has to have some sort of like nice guy side to him.
But
It's kind of like alpha with a side of beta, or a beta with a side of alpha.
This is what kills me about the nice guy rhetoric. You guys, be a nice guy because you're a nice guy. Don't keep saying, but I'm a nice guy.
Guys,
why aren't I not getting laid? Why am I not getting this girl? Why am I not getting this?
So you're worried about the complaining part of it. The guy saying, I was nice all this time and I'm not getting laid for it. It sounds like that guy thinks that he deserves to get laid, right? The problem with that is that nice guys will start being nice when nice gets them laid.
Yes. See? I love how Rollo freaking just expose female in their bullshit. No woman wants the freaking nice guy. They want the freaking guy that can go out and slit the man's throat. But for some reason, they think that guy is going to come home and change diapers. But what does the modern woman want? She wants to go out and conquer the world and be the boss bee, right? Then come home and see the husband changing the diapers and have food and have cooked a really nice meal after he is gone and conquered the world. She wants him to now come home and be the woman as well. That's the problem with today's environment. Because she wants to beat him into submission, because only when he's submissive, it's the only time she can get an opportunity to extract his resources. And when I say resources, money, energy, attention, and time. And for all of you whiners that always come at me in the freaking comment section, credit to Coach Greg Adams. So all I'm saying to you guys is that you have to understand female nature in order to preserve your sanity. Do not make women break you down into letting you think that you need to become a little softer in order to appease her. No, you keep your freaking frame. She don't like it. There's the door. There's another one lining up right behind her to take her space. And because you're not marrying her, and because she don't have daddy government on her side, you're good. You're good. And of course, you're going to have that domestic agreement that I've been sending out. I think I'm up to over 200 copies that I've sent out to guys now. That domestic agreement that was put together by 2 attorneys. If you guys want a copy of that, I will send it to you so that if you want to live with a woman and you want to have kids, etc., the agreement covers everything. All you got to do is make her sign it. If she don't want to sign it, she can go off and pay 100% of her bills. If she wants to shack up with you and cut her bills by 50%, make sure she signs that agreement. Don't be shy, gentlemen. You got to freaking put your foot down. You have to protect yourselves at all time, because only then are you seriously understanding female nature.
Where is everyone finding liberal men, specifically someone from Florida?
You could try the Little Mermaid ride at Disney World. Look in women's restrooms. A bunch of gay bars in Fort Lauderdale. You can go there. The gynecologist's office, there'll be a couple. The women's section at Target. They like that. Just like avoid, like Home Depot, Lowe's, the gun ranges. Good luck on your endeavor.
I just had to throw that in there, because that was funny as hell, man. Thanks. One of you guys sent me that. Thanks, man. That made my day.
What does it mean when they say, oh, I'm not looking for a relationship. I don't have time right now, but I'm fine with like friends with benefits or something casual?
That means that you don't qualify for a relationship commitment.
But it's rude, though. They want everything a relationship has to offer, but no title, and you're not allowed to, like, see other people.
Yeah. You don't qualify for a relationship. You only qualify for sex zone. You only qualify to be smashed, is what they're telling you.
That's mean.
I mean,
how would they feel if a woman did that to them? They'd probably... Think
about it. You do. You do it into them right now, because you have those guys in your friend zone, and they don't qualify for sex, but they qualify for time, attention, and resources. Well, but you're just like, okay, I'm just going to keep you in a friend zone forever. So we could say that that's evil too, because you know their true intentions, but you have ulterior motives to keep them in a certain place and to garner time, attention, and resources.
This motherfucker don't miss. In the heat of battle, he don't miss. No. In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
And he's right. Women tend not to understand or see their BS, but man, when a man does it, whoo, blows my mind every single time.
The validation economy runs 24/7 in the female brain. Every interaction is measured in validation units. Did he text back quickly enough? +2 units. Did he like her photo? +1 unit. Did he mention another woman? -5 units. She's constantly calculating her validation balance, and when it drops below her threshold, she creates drama to force a deposit. The drama isn't the problem, it's the solution to low validation reserves. As you probably noticed, women don't actually want solutions to their problems. When she complains, she's not seeking fixes, she's seeking validation that her feelings are justified. You offer solutions because your brain processes problems as things to solve. She rejects solutions because solving the problem would end the validation stream. The problem isn't the problem. The problem is the solution to getting attention. You know what happens when you truly grasp this? You understand that women see men as utilities, not partners. You're not a person to her. You're a Swiss Army knife of resources. Emotional support tool, financial provision tool, social status tool, genetic material tool, validation tool. She doesn't love you. She loves what you provide. And the moment a better tool becomes available, or the moment you stop functioning optimally, you're replaced. Not because she's evil, but because that's how her operating system works. The female brain has no concept of honor, loyalty, or abstract principles. These are male concepts that we project onto women. She doesn't stay because it's the right thing to do. She stays because leaving hasn't become the better option yet. She doesn't tell the truth because honesty matters. She tells whatever version of truth serves her interests in that moment. She doesn't love you for who you are. She loves you for how you make her feel about herself. You know what happens when you study female-dominated societies? They don't exist, not because of patriarchal oppression, but because matriarchal societies self-destruct. When women control resources and power, birth rates collapse, productivity plummets, and the society either dies or gets conquered. Every matriarchal experiment in history has failed within generations, because female psychology is optimized for individual extraction, not collective building. The cruelest truth. Women despise men who understand this. The moment you reveal that you see through the operating system, you become the enemy, because the entire system depends on male ignorance. If men understood how female psychology actually works, the whole extraction protocol collapses. That's why women police each other so hard to maintain the illusion. One woman breaking ranks threatens the entire system. This is why women who tell men the truth about women are attacked more viciously by other women than by anyone else. But here's the thing. You can't unknow what you now know. You can't go back to believing in the fairy tale. You can't pretend that female love is like male love, that loyalty means the same thing, that her words match her programming. Once you see the code, every interaction becomes transparent. Every test becomes obvious. Every manipulation becomes visible. The choice is simple. Either accept the operating system and learn to work within it, or reject it and walk away. But you can't change it. Billions of years of evolution won't be overwritten by your love, your commitment, or your sacrifice. She runs her code. You run yours. The only question is whether those programs are compatible. Remember, her brain isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. The problem is you've been told it was designed for love, partnership, and loyalty. It wasn't. It was designed for survival, extraction, and optimization. And in the modern world, where survival is guaranteed and resources are infinite, that programming has become a monster that consumes everything in its path. The red button is in front of you. Push it and see women as they actually are, not as you wish they were. Or don't push it, and keep wondering why your logical, loving, loyal approach keeps failing with creatures running completely different software. Because understanding how the female brain works isn't about hating women. It's about stopping the insanity of expecting them to think like men. They don't, they can't, they won't. And once you accept that, you can finally stop playing their game and start playing your own.
Oh, that's a powerful ending. But it's so freaking true. This is what I'm trying to explain to you, gentlemen. She's not doing anything wrong. She's just on a different type of program, my friends.
Women tried to call men on their bluff, and it backfired. And now a lot of the women are once again panicking. And the reason why they are panicking is because men stood 10 toes down on their stances of not being disrespected. not being manipulated and taken advantage of. And now the women don't know what part of the playbook to run to next. But here's the thing, ladies, get rid of the games. Just be honest. Just be straightforward with men so that you can gain back their trust. You can gain back their company. You can gain back their love. Like, something has got to give, because right now it is looking very, very dark, scary, and lonely outside.
You're asking women to do something that they cannot. They're just doing what women do. The difference, ladies, and here's how you screwed up. The difference between women of the past and you is that social media made you open your damn mouth and confess who you were. That's the only difference. In the past, women covered this shit up. They would never expose all of these. I don't need a man 6'6". I need a 6-foot guy. I need a finance guy. I need a big dick man. I need men who are men and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not settling for no this and I'm not settling for that. All of these things, ladies, your ancestors, they kept that shit quiet. They operated like that, but they kept it quiet. And the second thing they did, they understood where their level was. They never had this massive amount of choices that made you all stupid in today's environment. Women knew that, hey, I live in a village and there's only 100 men born every year. And if I want to get married and have any chance of passing on my offspring, I better get one of those men. And if I was a fat cow, if I was ugly, if I was not at the top of the food chain in looks and beauty, the things that men wanted, I knew my level. I knew the men that I had to pick on my level. And it was as simple as that. We all knew our levels. But no, social media had made you all stupid. It gave you a megaphone. You couldn't close your mouth and not expose your true nature. It has made you think that you have more options than you think you have because men were liking your photos on Instagram. So now you think you had this multitude of choices. It exposed you to other women who had a shitload of things, but your software told you that if they can have it and they look like that and I look similar because I have filters and makeup, I should be able to get what that woman gets. And if I didn't, I'd be settling. And so social media have made you all really, really stupid. So now a lot of you end up single. And let's listen to this gentleman. Men don't operate like you, my friends. A lot of women now are bawling. They are bawling because they can't find a man.
I've reached this point in my life where the strong, independent woman phase is dying down, like slowly dying down. Like, I'm tired.
You want to know the part that really sucks about being a strong, independent woman?
Fell for the boss bitch, the, like, I could do everything by myself, that hyper-independent bull. And 31 now, and I still don't have kids. I still don't have a family. I was focused on trying to get after the bag and all this. Yo, what? I'm in a place now in my life where I'm reevaluating everything.
I had a good man last year. He was a good man, but he, like I said, he was not my good man.
On behalf of all the independent girls worldwide, I'm here to say that we are tired.
I've decided I am no longer a strong, independent woman that needs no man. I'm so tired of fixing shit.
I need a man who knows how to take care of business. It's me. I'm business.
There's this guy at my work, right? And when I first started, he was so nice. Literally was like, hey, like, whatever. How's your day? He wasn't like exactly like that, but like, whatever. He was just really nice, really friendly, cool people. Okay? He told another coworker, oh my God, I like her. Like, tell her and then let me know how she's feeling. She told me. I said, man's is not my type. I come into work the next day. I'm thinking everything's fine, everything's cool, everything's great. Literally, man's ignores my presence. I'm not even there. I'm air. I'm like a ghost. This man will not make eye contact with me. He will not acknowledge my presence. And he literally, like, it's like I'm non-existent. Okay, cool.
The man shot his shot. She shot it down. The man moved on. He withdrew his energy, attention, and time. It drives women crazy to the point where she's on TikTok telling other people about it. But it's cool. No, it isn't. It's going to drive you insane. That's what you got to do, gentlemen. You shoot your shot. You made your move. She rejects you. Move on. You will start to see how fast she starts running towards you because women need that attention and time. Before she had the joy of knowing that a man was throwing his love and affection at her and she could just reject it. When you pull it away, understand female nature, gentlemen. Giving her more isn't going to convince her that she should want you more. This gentleman did exactly what he should have done. Withdraw it instantly. Guys just don't understand that we have been conditioned to think that the better we treat a woman, that we're now entitled to her love and attention and her commitment to us. No, that's not how shit works, my friends. It's the complete opposite. Our software and a female software are two totally different software. She's running on Apple. We're running on Windows. They can kind of work together, but most of the time, the operating system are just going to clash.
I don't need to provide for a man. I do not need to provide for a man.
Well, a man don't need to provide for
and
you
I
either.
put emphasis on
a man does not need
do you know why I'll say this?
Provide for you
do you
either.
know why I'll say this? Any
man does not need to provide for you.
Are you arguing with me? Any man that asks me what do I bring to the table is a bomb.
Nothing.
He's
You
a bomb.
absolutely don't bring nothing to the table.
You know why he's a bomb? And I'm not saying financially. I'm saying mentally. Mentally.
You think you do, but you actually bring nothing to the table. You can't even tell me what you bring to the table.
Yeah, these are the type of women that always want to try to shame men into thinking that she has value, but yet she cannot tell or show a man what she's going to contribute to his well-being. And then thinking that if I shame the man bad enough, he will want to take care of me without me bringing anything to the relationship. This is the stupidest thing. And when I tell you that we're operating on two different software, this is a perfect example right here. Reality of it is, if a woman doesn't bring anything to your relationship, it's a clear sign that she's a parasite. She's going to suck and suck and suck until you are dry, you're finished. And all she's going to do is just move on to the next host. It is in her nature to extract resources. So my friends, hey, this is a serious lesson to a lot of men. A lot of women won't like it because I am exposing their nature, their dark side, and it does bother a lot of women when men actually discover their dark side. But it's who they are. You just got to learn to work with it. Never give up everything. That's the reality of it. You almost have to use what we call this technique where people seem to have actually made it a bad thing. You almost have to breadcrumb her, but at a different level. Because if you give a woman everything, guess what, gentlemen? She will just take it and move on to the next guy. You got to learn to distribute slowly. Make her work for it. She has to always work for it. In working for it, she will feel that, I have earned it. It was not given to me, so I don't feel like it has less value. Think about it like that. But if you have nothing to offer a woman, she will not see any value in you. But ladies, if you're not offering anything back to the man, he will not see any value in you and he will not commit to you. And that's what's happening in today's dating environment. Men are not feeling like they're getting any value for a woman. No women are virgins. Most of you had way too many bodies. These are the things that are important to men, ladies. You can criticize it all you want, but if the man sees it as a problem, you don't get commitment. And what do you want? Commitment. So give a man what he wants or stay alone. It's as simple as that. There are more beautiful women that men want than there are eligible men that women want. So men will always have the advantage. There's a new woman coming to the age of 21 every single day. Every day. and you are growing one step closer to 30. Because after 30, your chances of finding a man that you want drops significantly. I can't put it any easier. I know it's harsh, but that's the reality. Okay? So my friends, hit that like button on the way out. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Book a session with the older man if you need any help with your relationships. I am here for you. So until tomorrow, remember, whenever in doubt, always, always ask an older man. I'll see you soon. Cheers.